What I did was similar to last week when we had the with our Canva, taking the standard of the like then we did science, but now we're looking at social studies and grabbing the actual language that is found within the standards. So I put that in. This one is for US History Era 7, US and the World. And it's talking about technological changes on American society and popular culture in the post World War II era. So we enter that in. And then if I hit send on this, what I found with this is that typically speaking, it's going to ask you for some follow-up questions. So, right, first, it kind of processes what we put in. You're working with Minnesota ninth grade history standard 21, focusing on causation and argumentation, specifically in US history era 7, right? Some of the things, just reiterating the language that was found there. Okay. And then what it does, just close this up. What it does is it breaks down, okay, possible materials that you could use for this standard. Make some suggestions here. Argumentative essay assignment with a prompt and includes a rubric, document-based question activity, interactive timeline and group discussion, and then project-based learning tasks. So you could spend a little bit of time, going through those, looking at what those might be. But if something sticks out to you that you would like it to create, that's when you get to the follow-up questions. So it says, would you like me to create one of these resources for you? If yes, could you provide the preferred format? So worksheet, digital slide, essay prompt, etc. Specific technologies or themes. That's actually a really good one to help it to dive a little bit deeper into maybe some of the conversations that you've had in class. So if there's a list of technologies that you're having your students look at, you could provide those to this system so that it tailor it to what you actually need. And then it asks, are there any existing materials or examples you want me to base it on? So that's another good one where you could take, maybe you've got some worksheets or things that you are using with the class, and this is going to be, providing more. But if there's a certain way that you want the output to be or the final product that it produces to be, you could always feed it some examples by, uploading from your computer or your drive and pushing that to the GPT so it knows what are you looking for in particular. For ours, what we'll do is I'm just going to say, I would like let's do the interactive timeline and group discussion. So we're going to say number 3, and I would like a worksheet produced from this, and we'll see what it does. So awesome choice. Worksheet title. Okay, so I would say too, it's important to check this more so that it's continuing to get everything correct, like your standard. Because I think one thing to be cautious of is if it starts trying to fill in gaps of things where it forgets what it is it's looking for. So just a good double check, I would say, on that. But then if we go down further, we get, our student worksheet. So part 1, interactive timeline research. Choose one post World War II technology. Fill out the table below. Okay, so here we've got a table. Gives you suggested technologies to choose from. So choosing a technology, year introduced, what was it, 1 to 2 sentences, how did it change daily life, impact on culture or society, and source used. Okay, then we go down a little further. Gallery walk and timeline discussions offers some instructions, discussion questions, and then even an extension activity as well. Okay, so some good stuff there. Again, you'll have to, whatever you're trying to have it produce, you'll have to have it go through and see if that's what you want it to be, right? But then at the end, it asks, would you like me to turn this into a printable PDF or Google Doc format? Add an answer key, rubric, or teacher guide for facilitating discussion, and then provide source excerpts for each technology. Let's try this. We'll just see what we can get out of it. Let's say, yes, I would like a Google Doc format, include a teacher guide and some source excerpts for each technology. And we'll see what it does here. I've done these before too, where when it gives our initial, like when it gives the ideas, I've also asked it to produce everything. So when we had, and we'll go back down, but when we had this part, the possible materials, in the other example I've done, um, I had it produce all of them and it did that. So it did this same process like it did for the worksheet, where I asked it just for that. You could have it produce all of the things if that's something you want to do too. Um, okay, so here we go. So we've got a Google Doc format. We have a teacher guide, and then we have source excerpts for each technology. So we have television. Looks like they source the Library of Congress. Interstate highway system. We source Wikipedia. Commercial jet travel. Same thing. Wikipedia. It looks like there's maybe a subpage of it or something. History of the United States. Um, Yep, and then they change, right? So transistor computer, post World War II economic expansion. So you're seeing Wikipedia as sources, but the pages that are found are sourced from different pages. So microwave oven, National World War II Museum, another Library of Congress for suburban housing. You get a lot of different stuff in here. So space race and then polio vaccine. Looks like there's several sources that you could click on and open to the side. And see your sources there. So, okay, so that's our sources, which is great. We can go, you look at the teacher's guide. Maybe, you could always copy and paste this over or whatever you want to do. You could continue to maybe coax it into producing other things for you if you want to. But I think the fact remains that you get from the start, you get you start with a standard, let's say, you get some material options or different activities that you could do. From there, you kind of proceed into having it produce those things. And so you see a lot of stuff that you can pull away from it. And maybe when you're trying it, maybe you'll get where the Google Doc does work or you can produce that PDF. But with this one in particular, you get a lot of different things. Even just going back to like the source excerpt stuff or the teacher guide, that's all great stuff that you could use too to your advantage. I do have one other example. So